Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is a blue collar wine show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely, and I also help you learn a little bit about the wine world. You don't need to know everything, but just small little tidbit things that just enhance your wine experience. We're going to look at the varietal Albarino. Last year I noticed it was started really getting hot as far as sales. And that has followed into this year. People are really starting to appreciate Albarino. Most famous from northwestern Spain, near the Atlantic coast, in an area called Rías Baixas in Galicia, Spain. Rías Baixas is the appellation or DO, designated origin. And I guess I read that 90% of the Albarino out of Spain comes from the Rías Baixas area. Albarino is known to be very high in acidity. It sometimes, when it's from Spain, it'll gain a little bit of a saline quality because of the Atlantic Ocean influence. Sometimes it can be, believe it or not, sometimes they use a little bit of oak to add texture to it, or leave it on the lees or the spent yeast. That'll also add texture. Most of the time, though, I've noticed that Albarinos are really crisp, dry, a lot of stone fruit qualities and citrus notes. So we're going to compare three Albarinos. Although they mostly are recognized to come from Spain, we have one from Washington, one from Oregon, and I've noticed a lot of great Albarinos coming out of Washington State. I haven't tried too many out of Oregon, so I'm excited to compare these. Let's move on to the 2024 Galicia Albarino from Washington State, particularly Evergreen Vineyard in the ancient lakes of Columbia Valley appellation. Very cool appellation for Washington State. This rolls in at $20. Albarino is a really good seafood wine because of the acidity and the crispness and the flavors. It makes a great food wine. You got to think mussels, clams, oysters, that sort of thing. Okay. On this one, this is from Washington State, kind of just a really light straw color. Let's see what we get on the nose. Definitely getting some, did I say this is a 20? Yeah, this is a fresh one, 24. A little bit of bubblegum action, and usually you get that on rosé. Peaches, apricot, a little bit of coconut meat on this one. I get some kind of a dusty minerality as well, a little wet stone, more not dusty, wet stone. And some essence of orange. Let's see what we get on the palate. Just really laser sharp on the palate, good acidity. The peach notes come through, the apricot. A little bit of the orange citrus notes come through. They penetrate the palate. I mean, it's like hitting you. Serious, like boom, laser sharp, crisp, white. Perfect for clams, oysters, mussels. This really, I mean, and it lingers on the backside. Especially the citrus notes are really, really sticking around. Nice balance, fruit, acid, there's just a touch of minerality, there's a little hit of white pepper on the back end. This is a beautiful Albarino, I love it. $20 is a great price for it. And you know, with the weather so warm, you know, this is just a really, really good Albarino for a warm day with clams or oysters, whatever you're having in that direction. It'd be good with salad as well. Just avoid the balsamic vinegar. Anyway. I like this wine. I'm going to go B plus, A minus. I think it's a fantastic wine. Good job from Washington State. And I think there's a lot of great Albarinos coming out of Washington State. On Wine Searcher, it only mentioned Spain and California, which I thought was really weird because there's so many good Albarinos coming. I don't know why they ignore us up here in Washington sometimes. It kind of pisses me off. Okay. Let's see if we can find the vintage on this. Sometimes it's hard with the Spanish wines. This is a Jorge Ordóñez. This is the La Caña Albarino from Rías Baixas. We just talked about that. Okay, 13% alcohol. Where are you vintage? I know it's, oh, 2023, there it is, very light colored. So Albarino, $24. Lacania, we sell a lot of Lacania Albarino. It's really popular at the store. Caliche is brand new. I just brought it in, so we'll see how that does. This has some color to it now. This is way different than the other one. This is way more golden colored. Yeah, definitely golden color. Makes me think maybe some Lees action. Lees is a spent yeast. They tend to leave the juice on that to give it some more texture in the mouth. So I think this might have some Lees action. Just saying. See what we get on those. I definitely get that saline they're talking about. And the cool thing about Rios Bacchus, and I didn't memorize all, there's all these different subregions, and each of those subregions in Rios Bacchus will bring a different characteristic to the wine, and a lot of times, stylistically, the winemakers from those different areas make them differently. So, interesting about that, but I'm just curious about how this one tastes. Debbie, getting a little bit of a nutty characteristic on the nose. Definitely some peach notes mingled with a little bit of mango. And definitely some like orange blossom notes as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Oh yeah, definitely a deeper, more complex Albarino. There's definitely a little bit of a saltiness on the back side of this one, a little bit of minerality, a little bit of white pepper. It definitely has Lees contact. There's no doubt about it. It has more texture in the mouth. It's dry, but not as dry as the Caliche. Still very good Albarino. Those mango and peach notes are nicely integrated. You get that underneath, you get a little bit of a kind of a steely wet stone thing going on with that little bit of saline on the backside. This has some serious guts to it. I'm really liking this Albarino. So different. This one would go well with shellfish and seafood as well, but I'm thinking you could probably pair this up with some roasted chicken. It just has enough of that weight, enough of that texture to go with that sort of food. So you could think that way with this one, for sure. I'm even getting a little kind of an applesauce quality that kind of hits on the very back side of the palate. I'm going to go straight up A on that. I think that's a fantastic Albarino, very well made. Just good texture, good complexity, nice integration, love it. Before we move on to the Oregon Albarino, in Portugal they call it Alvarinho, and they use Alvarinho a lot to make Vinho Verde. And I know Vinho Verde has been popular for a long, long time. It still is. We still sell a lot of Vinho Verde, and people love it. Low in alcohol, kind of lighter, crisper style, has a little frizzante sometimes. They put a little carbon dioxide in it to give it a little bit of a spritz, and a lot of people love that. So Albarino is this same grape, but that's what they call it in Portugal, just so you know. So let's give it a little rinse. We're moving on to Oregon. I moved on to Oregon because it's from Umpqua Valley, which is a little warmer down there. So I don't know where this is going to fall. I haven't had this one in a long time. This is the 2023 Umpqua Valley, Southern Oregon Albarino from Abasela Winery, and this rolls in at $21. Let's hope I'm right on this one. Wow, this has good color. This is right between the Caliche and the Lacania. So it's a little stronger color, but not as golden as the Albarino, as the Lacania. So we get on those. So this has a little petrol, a little rubber boot action on the nose. Big time. You know, not to be too geeky, but it's kind of cool. I like that. It doesn't translate all the time into the palate, but it's nice to see it on the nose. You get that a lot on Riesling. So there's definitely a kind of a mango, melon, hits of apple. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And kind of a very mineral, kind of dusty, crushed rock thing. Along with the rubber boot or petrol. So we get on the palate. Wow, this is so different than the other two. I mean, completely different. I get mango, banana, peach. It didn't come through on the nose, but boy, it's really coming through on the palate. And it's really, really interesting Albarino. I'm not sure everybody would like this one. The flavors are very intense and very different. I'm trying to put my finger. I'm even getting a touch of fig mingled in with citrus, mingled in with mango, mingled in with peach. Wow. Boy, talk about party on the palate. Unbelievable. Different flavor profile. I mean, this is, talk about complex. I like the Lacania for its, this is an interesting wine. I like it. I'm not sure everybody would like it. I think there's a few wine geeks out there that might go, wow, this is really cool. I think the sunshine has definitely had an influence on it. Just a plethora of, a potpourri of flavors coming through on this one, with that kind of petrol rubber boot thing kind of hiding underneath. Banana notes come through. All that is coming through. I mean, it's just so. I don't know where to go with this one because it's so interesting. It's a very interesting Albarino. It seems to be well put together. It seems to have good integration, good balance. The acidity is there. Not as this is the most acidic. The Cliche from Washington was the most acidic out of all these. This one might have a little bit of Lee's contact. And it makes me wonder if they're using a little bit of like neutral oak barrels to give it a little bit of oxidation characteristic to it. I would go A+ if we were going just an interesting, but I can't do that necessarily. I'm going to go A-. I think it has some good complexity, nice integration. Very interesting Albarino. If you wanted to just have something to sit there and talk about with your buddies if you're geeking out on wine, this would be fun to do that with. This is just a very, very interesting Albarino. So different. They're actually all different. You can tell it's Albarino, but they have all their different characteristics. And this one's getting some little spice, kind of white pepper, black pepper notes on white pepper notes on the finish. Yeah, A-, A, B+, A-, all fantastic Albarinos, and all, well, they're all different. They're from different areas of the world. And that smacks of terroir and winemaking, of course. But, terroir is a big part of why they're different. So, have you tried an Albarino lately? And what is your favorite one that you've discovered? Share it with me in the comments. I want to know what you've been drinking with this varietal. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see what's coming up next. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.